What's up, guys? Uh, Doing a little Dark Souls PvP here in the forest. First invader here we got. He has the Mirikumo crystallized. I'm gonna give this guy a taunt and give him the what is it? Because right before this recording started, him and his buddy kind of killed me and rubbed it in my face. So I thought I'd give some good payback there. Now we're back at it in the forest, and we're running around looking for an invader, and somebody had put up Christmas decorations on these trees. Funny as that is, the guy had the Ring of Fog on and uses the Tranquil Walk of Peace. But I've got the Crest Shield and the Silver Knight Spear, so I'm not afraid of this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and give him the shield taunt there. He's gonna pop me off of the Wrath of the Gods. Of course, the best thing that forest invaders, or defenders in this case, the best things that they do is run. So, when you're fighting in the forest, get used to either chasing a lot of people, or eventually you get tired of chasing them and just let them run. So, here's that guy that I fought a while ago with the Crystal Mirikumo. This guy shouldn't be too bad. He overuses his flippy darkwood grain ring. That's one thing about the new DLC. The darkwood grain ring is not going to be a vital asset to any of these builds anymore, as you know that it has been nerfed in the new content. But yeah, I titled this video Silver Knight Spear versus the Forest because here recently I've really started using the Silver Knight Spear and really made its use effective into my build, which is of course dexterity. For the longest I used the Claymore and the Balder Side Sword and Quelaag's Fury Blade, but when I found out that the Silver Knight Spear is so useful, I really don't even use my pyro much anymore. I can finish most people off just with standard RB attacks from the Silver Knight Spear. It's a good range weapon. Doesn't require a lot of stamina to use. So I really dig this weapon. And here's another case of a dark spirit running in the forest. I guess I was just in the chasing mood this night, so I thought I'd chase these guys down and backstab him out in the middle of the woods and leave his body rotting. Go ahead and give him the shield taunt, just for running and being a coward. We ain't got no time for a coward here in the forest. But yeah, so this is my level 200 dexterity build. I think it's important to be a higher level in the forest because you're faced with multiple invaders, and if you're invading the forest, you're faced with, once again, multiple people camping the forest. So it's good to have a few extra levels on underneath your belt here. I've got the same build at 125, and I've got the same build at 100. That is 100 is going to be for the new DLC that's coming out this month. Shortly, it'll be here, thank goodness. I'm looking forward to it. Some new content, some new items. I really enjoy the PvP aspect of this game. Character customization is great. Also, what I've been thinking about lately is building 3 strength builds. Or actually, take that back, 2 strength builds. One at 200 and one at 100. And, playing around with the Black Knight Great Axe, the Golem Axe, playing around with, what else? Large Club, Great Club. I like the Large Club actually better. I think most people will tell you that it's got a better moveset. Or that's what I've read in the videos I've seen of it. This guy's gonna backstab me here, but as far as the Black Knight Great Axe, that's the one weapon I'm confident in that I can Used probably as good as a Silver Knight Spear. Never used the Black Knight Great Axe, but it looks like it's a pretty effective weapon. Uh, One thing about the strength build is I probably won't be using any spells, and I thought about kind of making a hybrid dex slash strength, but if I'm going to use dexterity, if I'm going to use pyro, I'm just going to get on this build here. I'm not going to try to make my strength build something else that is not, because I want to get that different playstyle. I want to have that feeling of playing something that's completely different. And as far as my opponents go, show them something different. And it's definitely a unique way of playing, because you're only using, I guess, mainly your weapons. So you really got to get good at weapons. But the good thing about the strength build is that you can have a vast diversity of weapon choices. And a lot of those weapons have, the special attacks on the RT, the R2, whichever system you play it on. And that's kind of cool, I think. So I think right now I have spoiled myself, because back before I found out about the Silver Knight Spear, I really, I used the Claymore and the Balder Side Sword and stuff like that. But I really relied on my pyro a lot due to the short reach of those weapons. The spear lets me, keep people at range and use less of my pyro and more of my weapon. The only problem with the spear is the low critical damage, as you see right there. Now, strength weapons will have good critical damage, but I don't want to have to rely on backstabs and stuff like that. That guy had the red tearstone ring on. It was coming in for a backstab for a huge. That'd been pretty significant. But back to what I was saying. So I'm excited about the strength of weapons. I probably will not be using the Zweihander or any of those Demon Great Machetes, just because I don't like the move set. It's kind of slow, and Black Knight Great Sword, I mean, I think it looks cool, but I don't know, it's just too slow. So far what I've seen of the large club, I haven't got it yet on my character, but I'm going to get it soon and mess around with it. I'm also going to get a Great Club, mess around with it. May try out the dragon weapons, the dragon Great Axe, and the what's that, Dragon's Tooth. But it's definitely going to be a unique experience. When you're fighting with these heavy weapons, you tend to leave your back open. You don't want to leave your back open, because you'll get backstabbed, obviously. But if there can be a moveset that's halfway decent, the damage on these weapons would be crazy good. And I don't know, I can give myself 14 attunement and get 2 slots of whatever spell I need. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, really, honestly, I haven't thought about it. So, I'm just trying to think of how to make my strength build, optimize them in a good way. And the level 200 can probably achieve the fast roll, but the level 100, I may have to go with a medium roll. And that's okay, I heard the medium roll got buffed a little bit. Silver Knight Spear, there'll be an example here in a minute of a guy I fight that has a Zweihander on, and it's a perfect example of how powerful the Silver Knight Spear is. It doesn't do a lot of damage per poke, but it pokes very fast. I can hit you, in this case where I fight a guy here in a minute, I think I hit him 4 times to his 1, and he's using the Zweihander. I ended up killing him in that little exchange. I don't care what you're doing, if you can multiply something by 4, that's pretty significant percentage there. Now this guy here is the guy I fought before, I believe, and I think he almost kills me. It's a pretty good matchup. He's got a very aggressive style, and here I'm backing off and trying to switch the spells, switch to my Great Combustion. I like Great Combustion. I got 3 castings of it on this particular character, so that's plenty of Great Combustion. It brings out a little bow action. I like to do that from time to time. So I doubt that I'll ever make a faith build or a pure intelligence build again, just because I don't know, they got those new spells that's in the DLC, the dark magic. They look very useful. However, I don't know. It's just not my playstyle, you know. I like I like the strength build. I'll probably have a lot of defense, have a lot of life, poise, and that sort of thing. Now this guy right here kind of ticks me off. And I don't know why. He's one of those guys that just really gets on your nerves. If I'd have lost to this guy, I'd probably been even more mad. It's like every time I swing, I hit the wall with a Silver Knight spear. I flask it up right there because I didn't want to lose to this guy. Not that I flask a lot. I never flask really, unless it's 2v1 or something. But there ain't no rules in the forest. Anyways, he never hit me again, so I wouldn't even had to flask. He does try to hit me with the Tranquil Walk of Peace here. That's okay, because I'm going to hit him with something called Fire Tempest. And I'm just dying to get over this dude and shake my shield. Get out of my forest, dude. It's my forest tonight. Somebody already decorated it for me earlier with Christmas lights. So we're get back to the area that I like to stay at, right here. Get some more PvP matches in, but this character here, I'm rocking the Crest Shield, the Silver Knight Spear, the Havel's Leggings, Wanderer's Coat, and Dark Gauntlets. That pretty effective. Gives me the fast roll speed and 77 poise, so I ain't complaining about that. Of course, I got the Pyro. I think I got like 3 castings of Fire Tempest, 3 castings of Great Combustion, and a Great Fireball. So a pretty effective character there. Well, got the Wolf Ring on and the Ring of Favor and Protection. Ring of Favor and Protection. I think it can be considered an overpowered ring. Really, overpowered is probably exaggerated, but it's like every character I make or you make, it's a part of their ring selection. And you only got 2 ring selections, but it's so useful to have that extra stamina and life bonus. And really, if you compare a lot of the rings, we're not going to include the Darkwood Grain ring anymore since it's being nerfed, but you got like the Hornet ring, Bellowing Dragon Crest ring, you've got the Wolf ring, which is now going to be super used. But it's always something. You say, oh, the Darkwood Grain ring's overpowered. Okay, let's nerf that. What becomes overpowered next? The Wolf ring? Because you don't see, just because somebody uses something a lot, I don't think you should get mad at it and say, oh, it's overpowered. That's like the Hornet ring. And you'll see in a minute, I'll get killed by a guy that has the Hornet ring. Of course, I'll have my rematch, and I'll tighten him up. But I'm not going to complain about the Hornet ring. I mean, you don't want to get hit by the Hornet ring, Don't get backstabbed. Don't get parried. Don't spam the RB. Don't let somebody have your back. Keep it cool. I used to go for a lot of backstabs when I first started learning the PvP, and I was effective at them. And I wore the Hornet ring and stuff. But that kind of style of playing gets old. And when you're facing somebody who has good backstab defense and who's actually good, you're not going to get that backstab that you rely on. You're going to have to rely on your actual PvP skills. And that's where, getting away from that whole style and evolving your game comes into hand. And it really makes you that much better of a player. Anytime you put yourself in a situation where you're unfamiliar with it, where you're not any good with it, you learn. So it's like Pyro. I never used Pyro until a month ago. Then when I started using Pyro, I'm like, wow, this is really effective. I never used the Silver Knight Spear until last week. Started using it. Wow, it's really effective. So It's always cool to try new things. That's the good thing about this game is you've got a lot of different options, a lot of different weapons, and just because a weapon's stats may not be good or they may not be as good as others, that doesn't mean it's not effective. The game is made out to where you can use anything and make it effective based on who you are. And you'll go through a lot of trial and error. You'll lose a lot of matches, and that's all. That's all part of it. This guy right here is trying to fish for a backstab, but I kind of just dance with him and don't let him around me. I should have given him a couple of swift boots, but finish him off with a fireball. Let's say Maso Yama. But yeah, so that's why I'm going to give this strength build a go. The biggest problem I have with the strength build, I think that I'm going to run into, is the diversity of attack. Silver Knight Spear, I can rely on it as a main weapon, but I can rely on it because of its length. I can sort of judge range and distance and kind of determine the fight with the length of the Silver Knight Spear. That's like somebody in boxing with a good jab. They can determine the fight of the match by, keeping the range with that effective jab, just throwing it out there. And that's what I, try to do with the spear. I'm constantly jabbing at you, keeping the range, keeping the range, keeping the range. Of course, I've got pyro to fall back on too, which is always handy. So the strength build, I don't know if I'm going to have the range. The Black Knight Great Axe has decent range, nothing like the spear, but it does have really good damage. And maybe if I can get a few hits in with it, it'll make up for the lack of range because it's so powerful. But the other weapons kind of worry me, like the Great Club and stuff like that. You swing and you're kind of overexerting yourself, giving yourself up for a backstab, and you really got to set them shots up because they're so easy to dodge and they're so easy to parry. I know I fought a guy the other day that was using what was he using? Maybe it was the Dragon Tooth or something, and I just parried the fire out of him on the first swing too. No setup parries. They're just so telegraphic. But I read a little bit about the large club today. It looks pretty effective, and it's got that poison, so I may check it out. We'll have to go down there and farm some of them big nasty things in Blighttown. Interested in that. I don't know much about the dragon weapons. I know they got some special attacks, but I'm not so much worried about special attacks as I am the actual moveset of a weapon. So I'll do a little research on that and get my strength builds rolling. I don't know if I should somehow get a few spells in. I mean, I don't know what spells I would use. This guy is about to parry me in a minute, but you notice he parries me when he's right in my face. Here I was making the mistake of, and I'm taking it to him right there until that happens. And he's got the Hornet Ring, as you can tell here. Hornet Ring and was that a great sword? But I'll get my rematch with this dude, so it ain't no big deal. But I'm telling you, you get hit with one Hornet, backstab or parry, especially a parry, it could really put you in a survival mode. This guy's kind of trying to be cool and just throw the fireballs without the lock on. They've been watching too many Dark Souls Mind Eyes videos. I always think it's funny when people try to do something ineffectively because they've seen somebody do it effectively, like blind parries. I get blind parried attempts all the time, and hardly ever do I get parried, especially with a Silver Knight Spear. They look ridiculous when they do it too, just swinging your shield at the air. That's one tactic a lot of people use, is if you're fighting a blind parrier, go up to them and get them to blind parry, then run around them for a backstab. That's not something I do, but that's just something that would work. I've seen work. I think I got a few more matches. And then here I'm fighting this is the guy I was talking about earlier, the Zweihander. He's going to enchant it with the sunlight sword, the sunlight blade. Zweihander leaves you open too, that's why I don't like it. Very powerful. But watch me just jab at him from a distance. He gets in close. I roll out, make a little distance, hit him with another jab. He swings, he misses. Now here's what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 4 shots with a Silver Knight Spear compared to his 1 swipe of the Zweihander. If you can poise 1 hit from that thing, and you can at level 200. Now, you know, you may, if you have a little bit less poise, you know, they're doing away with the stun lock in the new DLC, so there's nothing really to worry about there. You can just sort of roll out. But you really, I was a little over aggressive there. I wouldn't have done that if I had a little bit less poise. I would have actually kept the distance and poked at him. And you can actually, if you're good at keeping the distance, you know, if lag and everything's, yeah, you know, not going crazy, you can actually not get hit, which is why I like the Silver Knight Spear. And so I'm really hoping there's a way to turn this strength build and have a weapon this effective. Because if you got a weapon this effective with a strength build, you're going to do a lot more damage and get a lot more kills faster. And that's I really don't want to rely on parrying and backstabbing. Well, backstabbing's fine, I guess, but parrying's something that it's like chance, you know. You go up and you can start predicting people's patterns. If you know, deal somebody a lot, you know when they're going to hit, and you know when to throw a parry. And anybody that just spams the RB isn't, well, I'll say an idiot, because I spam the RB with a spear more than I ever have before with any weapon, because it's a harder weapon to parry. And you'll see here in a second, I'll have my rematch with the guy that killed me with a hornet ring, and finish him off. But this has just been a video of a few matches in the forest using the Silver Knight Spear. I don't know. I'm sort of new to this whole video thing. Got me a capture device coming soon, so it'll be a little bit better quality. Here's the guy. Trying to pop him off with some poison arrows. Now I got some ideas on the next video. Maybe do a little PvP in the berg, or may do another forest. I don't know. But may get my strength build rolling, showcase some weapons. So I'm gonna roll BS this dude, because he just keeps spamming the Great Fireball, throwing it at the ground. I don't understand that. But anyways, this has been the Silver Knight Spear versus the Forest. Hope you enjoyed it.